From Mamamia, welcome to The Spill, your daily pop culture fix. I'm Laura Brodnick.
And I'm Ksenia Lukic.
And coming up on the show today, we have a hot new romance to discuss, Zoë Kravitz and Harry Styles, although it's not all as it appears, so we're going to get into that. But first,
okay, Laura, I saw this headline, immediately thought of you, and I thought, Laura is going to be so excited about this. There is going to be a documentary about Gilmore Girls.
Okay.
That is not the silence I was expecting.
I don't want to be a killjoy, even though that is my personal brand and I should monetize that in some way. I don't want to be a killjoy. But I did see this news this morning, the Gilmore Girls documentary. And as much as I don't mind that it's going to be in the world, I'm not saying other people can't watch it. I personally, as one of the biggest Gilmore Girl fans in the world, will not be watching it.
Okay. All right. Well, I had all these things about it because I was like, I've got to do all this, work for Laura to make sure she knows that I'm across it.
Still please share.
I will share. I will share
know.
it with you. Okay. So it's the 25th anniversary in October of Gilmore Girls, which I'm sure you already know.
I do.
The documentary is going to be called Searching for Stars Hollow, and Meghna Balakumar and Kevin Conrad Hanna are going to be the directors. They've got 100 hours of footage with all of the cast, but Alexis Bledel doesn't seem to be in it at the moment.
Yes, Alexis Bledel, who played Rory Gilmore, she opted out of The Handmaid's Tale final season, except for one little cameo for fans. She hasn't been working for a while. And the rumor, which has kind of been substantiated, and one of the reasons why, again, the rumor mill thinks that another season of Gilmore Girls isn't being filmed is because Alexis Bledel broke up with her husband, Vincent Carrasa, who people would know from Angel. I can't even believe those kids got married and had a son together, but apparently they got divorced, and so she's taken a lot of time off. But I think there's potential that she'll come back for this. Like, she's never shied away from the Gilmore Girls world.
Why does this not excite you? Because I love I love a documentary. I love a behind the scenes. Like, I think I've watched every single, behind the scenes of Lord of the Rings or making of Friends. Like, I love that stuff. Like, what is it about it that isn't giving you, like, filling your cup?
I just feel like there's something so sacred about Gilmore Girls, and I really want us to celebrate it. But I think there is such a thing as picking over something too much until, like, the carcass is just completely devoured. And I think that's what we're in danger of doing a little bit from Gilmore Girls. So, and I say this is the biggest Gilmore Girls fan. I've watched every episode, not even joking, 100 times at least, because I watch it daily. When the new season came out, Gilmore Girls, like the continuing season, I took time off work. I flew to Queensland with my sisters so we could all watch it together, and we watched it through twice, once without talking so we could take it in, and then we watched it all through again talking, and we themed all of our dinners and lunches around Gilmore Girls food. I've been to the set. I've touched Miss Patty's dance school. I've touched the gazebo. I cried so much. I have the mugs that were actually sold in Luke's Diner, not the fan mugs. I have that too, but I have the actual mug. Like, I love this series. But I also think there has been so many behind the scenes things released. Luke on the show, the actor who plays Luke on the show, has a podcast where he interviews people. Lauren Graham, who plays the lead Lorelai Gilmore, has written a book about it. Kelly Bishop, who plays Elmina Gilmore, has written a book about it. And I've read those books, and I've watched all the creators and directors and costumers all have their own Instagram series now where they do daily updates behind the scenes. I just think I know too much about the making of the show, and it's ruining the magic of the actual show.
Okay. So first of all, they need to interview you.
They actually do.
Because
I've got some stories to tell.
This is like, I feel like you know more than most people. So maybe it's almost like there's just too much content out there of the making of. But I feel like people do this when there's a big fandom behind a show, because people keep wanting more, especially once you've watched something and you know how you feel that thing of like, if I could forget that and do it all over again.
I just feel like there's, and again, I'm not saying other people can't watch it. I'm sure my family will. And like maybe one day I will watch it because I do.
You're definitely going to watch it.
Well, I just feel like I don't want to ruin the magic of this little town in Stars Hollow. And I just feel like Gilmore Girls, one of the reasons people love it is that it came at a time where we didn't have access to all that. Like I would just watch it it was originally on a Tuesday night. I would watch it on Tuesday night. My sisters and my brother, he hates me saying this, but he watches Gilmore Girls too. We all did as a family. We would tape it on a VHS and we would watch the episode over and over and over again until the next episode came out. But we knew nothing about behind the scenes or the characters or the actors or anything like that. It was in a little bubble. And I think now we have too much access to behind the scenes of our favorite shows, to the point where, and I know not everyone has this problem, but I have banned myself from interviewing anyone from my favorite shows. So I've been offered so many like interviews with Scott Patterson, who plays Luke Deans. Absolutely not. I've been offered interviews with Alexis Bledel before. Absolutely not. And I've been asked to interview Lauren Graham a few times, who played Lorelai. And I did say, and this wasn't a joke, I will quit my job before I talk to that woman. It's because I can get a new job. I can't get a new favorite TV show.
And I think it's also that whole adage of don't ever meet your heroes. Like, what if they're a bit mean to you?
Well, that's the thing.
Well, not mean, but like, what if it's not what you expected?
Exactly. And I just think once you have, and this is why I don't follow any of my favorite actors on Instagram or anything either. I just think once you see a person not as a TV character where you are supposed to live in their world, movie actors are a bit different because they're a different person every time. So it's easier to suspend disbelief. But I think with movie characters, even like if you have a great interview with them, they are never that character to you again. That's lost forever. They're always a person, is how I personally see it. And that's why I don't think you should follow your favorite actors on Instagram either. A boycott is what I'm saying.
I mean, I love a behind the scenes. Like, tell IMDb. Often when I watch shows, I will have IMDb up trivia on my phone as I'm watching it.
Like, see, I feel like that's ruining the world for you. You got to experience the world, then you can go look up the stuff.
No, I love listening and watching the trivia and like seeing all the behind the scenes and interviews. Like I did it with, and just like that, making of. I love a documentary.
No, and again, I feel like people should watch this, and I know they will. And there is a huge appetite. Like I said, all the cast have written books. There's so many podcasts. They still do so many fan events and panels and interviews. It's still the thing that they all get asked about. So there's a huge audience appetite for it, and I think we should celebrate it. But I just personally will not be watching the documentary.
Okay, well,
but I will drink out of my Gilmore Girls mug that day in solidarity.
Okay, well, we don't have a release date just yet, but won't keep Laura posted, but we will keep you Spillers posted.
So Zoë Kravitz she's always living a good life, but at the moment she's living a particularly good life because she's on the press tour for her new movie, Caught Stealing, which I haven't seen yet, but I've heard is great and I'm very excited to see it. And in the months leading up to this, and we've talked about this before on the spill, is that she's been very cozy on the press tour and red carpets with her co-star, Austin Butler. And there's been a few kind of sightings of them at after parties and like matinees of, events and all these little kind of behind the scenes moments where people have caught them hugging and whispering to each other. And the rumor was that they were hooking up.
And, being a bit cozy. And I feel like Austin Butler also could very well be Zoë Kravitz's type because given her previous relationship with Channing Tatum, I feel like they have the same energy. Austin Butler and Channing Tatum give me the same energy.
Really? I find them completely different people just because Austin Butler is like, I'm a serious actor and I don't know how to get into a role without becoming the character and being a method actor. And Channing Tatum is just a frat boy having a great time with a great, business mind who's like there to make a franchise.
I'm more talking about like looks wise, like vibes wise.
But Austin Butler again, like a kind of a slight guy, whereas Channing Tatum's this like beefy bro. But anyway, the fun thing about Zoë Kravitz is that you just never know which way she's going to swing. She can go for Kyle Gosman, who's more of a quiet, kind of serious, artistic actor, her ex-husband, who's also got a movie out now. And I feel so bad for him because everyone's just calling him Zoë Kravitz's ex-husband, that poor boy. Or she can swing towards Channing Tatum. And now apparently people thought she'd swung to Austin Butler. I just always got the vibe that the way she talked about him was always like a little bit cutting, but like in a kind of like almost like a ribbing sister kind of way. Like people on the press tour, they got asked like what were their first thoughts of each other. And she's like, Austin's funnier than I thought. He's more interesting than I thought. He's more, and I'm like, just say you thought he was an idiot before you met him.
I love that. I love those sort of undercutted compliments, but we're wrong. Because there have been some sightings of Harry Styles and Zoë Kravitz walking arm in arm in Rome. And now the rumor mill is just going nuts that the two of them are together. So forget Austin Butler. Yeah. It is all about Harry Styles. I love this.
He was a decoy. He was a red herring. He is just a poor boy trying to like lose his Elvis accent that's still plaguing him to this day. So yes, the photo of Zoe and Harry taken in Italy. And yes, I am trash because I have watched it many times. I've zoomed zoomed in. I looked from all the angles. To the naked eye, they just kind of almost look like pals because they're walking along. She kind of grips his arm and then they kind of drop arms and they walk away, and there's all these fan sightings. So they haven't been trying to hide it. They've just been strolling around the streets of Rome together, not hiding it. Apparently so many fans have come up to them and asked for photos, and every single fan has said that Harry Styles, and this is his thing, he always says no to a photo to a fan. He always says, do you mind if I don't, because I'm just offline at the moment, I'm not in that space. But he always takes their hand and holds it as he tells them that, so that they don't walk away having a bad interaction with him. And every fan who has had a hand holding interaction with Harry Styles, and there's been a few of them recently, has said that Zoe has stood there very politely and that they weren't engaging in any sort of like, it didn't feel like a couple. But also that is what I think you would do if you were trying to walk around and be a couple without having people pap you kissing or anything like that.
Okay, but this is the thing. Overnight, we saw a source has told People magazine, and I love a source because who knows where that's come from, but multiple sources apparently saw them kissing at the London premiere of Caught Stealing. So that is the latest on that one. So I think there is actually more to this. It looks like this is a legit couple. I think when the Austin Butler and Zoe stuff came out, everyone was kind of like, maybe it's probably just a PR move for the movie. You know, they have to be together. Like, this isn't legitimate. But with Harry and Zoe, this one feels real.
Well, apparently he's been during the Caught Stealing junkets, which is where, again, you and I do junkets all the time, but for people who don't know, it's when you do all the pre-promo for a movie in the lead up to it. So you have the people in the movie sit in a hotel room for days with all the cameras and lights, and like a parade of journalists come in and out and interview them. But what happens at a junket is that they kind of take over the whole hotel. So there's like all these levels of security. They take out all the rooms on the floor, all of their teams stay there. They have makeup rooms and lighting rooms and comms rooms and stuff. And apparently Harry Styles has been hiding out at the hotel where they were doing the Caught Stealing junket, which does seem risky for if you're having like a clandestine romance between two of the most famous people in the world. Does seem risky to conduct that romance in a room filled with they're like different people who work for them, but plus also filled with every journalist, you know, in the country and people who have been flown in. But there's also a lot of places to hide at a junket. There's a lot of people moving around. There's a lot of like, it's a hotel. There's a lot of private rooms that you can book out and have people not go into. So I actually think it's the perfect cover.
And we also know that a lot of these big hotels have like back entrances and, you know, you can go up the like back way and go through the laundry and like I'm sure he's thought of all of that. Yeah. But there has been a number of reports that he's basically been following her around on this press junket.
Well, he's got time at the moment, so I feel like that's probably true because I feel like he's not working in the factory to put out his sex toys, which is his main kind of big release at the moment, and mine still hasn't arrived.
Well, a special trial maybe.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Zoe will – oh, no, that's too naughty. I'm not going to say that.
Yes, maybe. I feel like Zoe Kravitz is the kind of girl who would give a very honest opinion of a sex toy. But now now everyone's like pretty sure they're dating, they're hanging out, all of that sort of stuff. He's been hiding in the bathroom of her hotel room in the junket hotel, which is very cute. But now this idea has come up that Zoe Kravitz has potentially like upset all of her famous friends by dating him.
But why? I mean, Harry Styles has dated everyone.
Well, I think there's Zoe Kravitz and Taylor Swift are really good friends, as evidenced by the fact that recently she had to go and stay at Taylor's house with her mum during the LA fires.
I love that story.
Yeah.
I love that story about the snake.
Yeah.
And the whole bathroom. That was like my favorite story.
They lost a snake in Taylor Swift's house. But they've been friends for a really long time. And obviously Harry Styles and Taylor Swift dated for a while. I don't think Taylor Swift would care. I'm just going to go out on a limb, not knowing any of these people personally, that Taylor Swift's not going to care that Zoe Kravitz is hooking up with her situationship from many, many years ago. She'd probably be more likely to say like, hey, everyone thinks that Taylor Swift would say, everyone thinks Harry Styles and I committed vehicular manslaughter because of all the lyrics in my songs. So just watch out for that. But apart from that, go for gold and date that man.
I mean, I feel like Hollywood as well is so incestuous. If you actually did like a Venn diagram of who's dated who, it would be like 2 degrees of separation.
Yeah, they're all linked.
But I much prefer Harry Styles to Channing Tatum for
really?
Zoe.
This is
but I have a personal gripe against Channing.
What's your gripe?
I know people are going to come for me for this, and
That's okay, say it.
I don't know. I just don't like his vibe.
I think that he got such a cool boy makeover when he was engaged to Zoë Kravitz. Up until then, he was always seen as this Hollywood doofus, which I actually think is unfair to him because he started that whole Magic Mike franchise. If you look at all the leaked emails from Sony, he was the one like emailing, and maybe someone was ghostwriting it for him, but it does read like him. He was the one emailing with the business plans. He was the one emailing about the franchises and the ideas and stuff. Like he knows how to build a business. But he was always seen as like a bit of an embarrassing, very non-sexy kind of frat boy-esque kind of person. But as soon as he started dating Zoë Kravitz, he instantly got hotter. He instantly was more appealing. He did that really wild like photo shoot where he was half naked, and any other time that would have been so embarrassing, but it just was really hot. And as soon as they broke up, after he posted that photo of her sleeping, which I do believe was the catalyst for their breakup, as soon as they broke up, that hot factor just left him again. It just fled his body.
Honestly, when I saw them at the Met Gala together, my first thought was, oh, Zoe, honey, you can do so much better.
I know, but she does love to do like an outreach program for troubled Hollywood men and like help them be cool again and help them, like, she's a good Samaritan that way. No one talks about her charity work in that area. But even in that photo of her like descending the Met Gala steps in her see-through dress and Channing kind of walking slightly behind her and like reaching out to hold her hand, that is the hottest that man has ever looked.
I hated that suit. It was way too oversized.
All right.
Didn't
Well,
fit
her
in
powers
properly.
of
Looked
persuasion
silly.
didn't like.
No, I just
it's
a personal thing, and I just find him a bit sort of like smarmy and.
Well, now that he's in his mid-40s dating a 20-year-old, he's gone right back to being an unattractive,
like be original,
bloke.
Channing.
Yeah. So, and now, I mean, not that Harry Styles needed the cool factor with Zoë Kravitz, but I do feel it's also helping him. Like, again, him strolling like confidently through the streets of Rome with her hanging off his arm and like trailing slightly behind him. That is the hottest that man's looked for a while as well. So I don't know. I'm hoping we get. They're both fairly private. I don't think they'll comment on it. I think what they'll do is that they'll get to the stage where they won't care if they get papped and they'll just kiss on the street and go out, but they'll never address it.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to that moment.